Please welcome our mystery guest speaker, Samir Malak. Be marvelous. Samir Malak, be marvelous.
With great power comes great responsibility. Mr. Contest Chair, fellow Toastmasters, I absolutely love comic books. I love the characters, I love the stories, and I love the message. We're seeing a lot of superheroes these days. It seems like every month there's a new superhero film or TV show coming out. And I couldn't be more pleased. My first encounter with Spider-Man was on Sesame Street with the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man on a black and white TV huddled in my room. I loved the stories. I loved his wit. I began growing into these stories. When I could read, I started collecting comic books. I built up a huge collection. I lost myself in the stories of the Fantastic Four, Iron Man, Captain America, the Avengers, all Marvel comic books, not the DC fluff. And then I encountered the greatest power in a young boy's life. Dad. What is this stuff? What are you doing reading this garbage? Dad, they're going to be valuable one day. They're going to be worth a lot of money. If only I had the time stone that Dr. Strange has, I could go back in time and give my younger self the words. Tell him they're an investment. He'll get that. But as my father spoke, so it occurred. All the comics into the bin. With great power comes great responsibility. What kind of power do you have? Where does your power come from? How do you know what your superpower is? I'd posit if you take a look at what pains you, that you can't stop focusing on, you'll start to get an inkling. I'd posit that if you use what we exercise, our voice, you would latch on to something that could create change and transform the people around you. And you might be closer to understanding what your passion and your power is. With great power comes great responsibility. Stephen Covey has a nice little wordplay that gives some insight into what responsibility is. Responsibility. You see, perhaps you're pained by one of those things going on in the world or in the room around you. A response is merited. Do you have the ability to match that response? Then it is your responsibility to choose to take action and make a difference. With great power comes great responsibility. My father exercised his power and binned my comic book collection, and I lost that investment. What kind of response did I have? I treasured those stories, and though the paper that they were on and the pictures were all gone, Spider-Man was still with me. I still knew that Iron Man used innovation to save himself and to become a hero. I still treasured Captain America as a beacon of hope. Those stories, those characters were in my heart, and I chose to keep them with me. And then when I had the opportunity, I was a little older, I had some pocket money, I started building my comic book collection again. 10 years ago, I was delighted, overwhelmed. There had been many attempts in the past to put these heroes, these marvelous heroes, onto the screen, either the television or the big screen. And they were sorely lacking. Until 10 years ago, Iron Man came forward with an explosion. And there was Tony Stark on the big screen, true to form, true to story, just like I'd read about him. And it didn't stop there. 18 movies later, on the 27th of April, a culmination of all of these origin stories, introduction to these characters, conflicts, passions, failures, success. We went from me watching Spider-Man, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, on Sesame Street on a black and white little TV screen, BFI IMAX, Avengers Infinity War. It was here. And on the day it was released, the 27th, I've got an example of someone who exercised his power with great responsibility. Steve Kam founded a company called Nerd Fitness. He's the author of a really good book. Level Up Your Life. And on the 27th, what Steve Kam did is he said, be Marvel, not DC. And he sent out a letter to his following, his tribe, his fans. And he said, look, I know you're all nerds and you're all trying to be fit. But the most common question I get is, how can I quickly get fit? How can I do it? And he said, that's not it. Look, I'm going to give you a lesson. Today, Avengers Infinity War is coming out. And it's been Marvel's triumph over time, really exercising, planning, and focus for delivery, patiently stitching together the stories that would give you an authentic experience of what used to be on the printed page. Those same characters I fell in love with. He said, apply this to whatever your goal is, whatever your plan, whatever your power, whatever your purpose, whatever your path. Move forward with intention towards that next big thing. And you, and you, and you go and be marvelous. Mr. Contest Chair.